Welcome to Tech Grill. In this video, I don't have a tutorial for you. In this video, we're covering drama. You know, when I started Tech Grill on this fine community of WordPress, I never really thought I was gonna cover any sort of drama. But yeah, recently a drama is brewing between the founder of WordPress, Matt, and WP Engine. Now, it all started from a few tweets from Matt directed towards WP Engine, and then it went on to be a full-on call-out when Matt gave a speech at the WordCamp US. And then there was another post from WordPress.org titled WP Engine is not WordPress. And now we have a full-on cease and desist from WP Engine to Matt. Yes, that escalated real quick. And then within the cease and desist that we will check out in just a bit, we find out that Matt was trying to strike some sort of monetary deal between WP Engine to stay quiet basically and not bash WP Engine more. But yeah, there's a lot to unpack. I mean, you know, we got WordPress drama before GTA 6, which is quite funny. Anywho, let's go to my computer screen. I'll tell you more. Alright, so here we are at the computer screen. Let's unpack this situation. So this right here is the cease and desist that was sent by WP Engine to Matt Mullenweg, the CEO of Automatic or the founder of WordPress. So we'll get into this in a bit. Again, I think first things first, let's get you started. Let's get you warmed up on where it really starts. I think this is where it starts. So this tweet right here from Matt, this is the oldest thing that I can find that kind of traces back to this controversy. Matt says, for WordCamp US Contributor Day, I did some writing with a post on WordCamp US and ecosystem thinking. So now basically I'm not going to read out the whole thing, but I'll give you a basic gist. So it's at this point I ask everyone in the WordPress community to vote with your wallet. Who are you giving your money to? Someone who's going to nourish the ecosystem or someone who's going to frack every bit of value out of it until it withers? Think about that next time it comes up to renew your hosting or domain. Weigh your dollar towards companies that gives back more because you'll get back more too. Freedom isn't free. Alright, so right here, WP Engine is not blatantly mentioned, but yeah, moving on, you'll understand what I mean. So after this, on September 22, Matt releases this tweet right here. WP Engine is not WordPress. And if we follow this link, we are led to a WordPress.org news. Basically, it's titled WP Engine is now WordPress. It has to be said and repeated, WP Engine is not WordPress. My own mother was confused and thought WP Engine was an official thing. Their branding, marketing, advertising, and entire promise to customers is that they're giving you WordPress, but they're not. And they're profiting off of the confusion. So he basically goes on to give an example about, you know, how much other companies that are profiting from WordPress are contributing back to WordPress, but WP Engine is really not. And on top of that, they're branding WP Engine, the WP, right? Their branding is kind of confusing and kind of misleading for the users because his own mother thought that WP Engine was an official thing, even though it's not. And then he goes on to talk about how WordPress is a content management system that is open source and the content is sacred, and stuff like page revision is an integral part of it. So he goes on to point out that WP Engine turns this off. They disable revisions because it costs more money to store the history of the changes in the database, and they don't want to spend that to protect your content alongside, you know, not really contributing to the core. And he also goes on to point out that no other WordPress host disables revisions, and why is it that WP Engine is the only one that does so? They're strip mining the WordPress ecosystem, giving users a crappier experience so they can make more money. He basically says WP Engine is not WordPress and they're giving you a cheap knockoff and charging you more for it. What WP Engine gives you is something they've chopped up, hacked, butchered to look like WordPress. And he also goes on to say that this is a reason WP Engine is a cancer to WordPress. Some really harsh words there, and he goes on to say if you are a customer of WordPress Engine, you should contact their support immediately to at least get the 3 revisions that they allow you. And he goes on to say, remember that you, the customer, hold the power, and they're nothing without the money you give them. So, you know, this kind of traces back with this first post that I mentioned. And yeah, you vote with your dollars, consider literally any other WordPress host, as WP Engine is the one we have found that completely disables revisions by default. So yeah, this is where Matt really starts with his attack. Stay tuned because it's only going to get more juicy. Alright, so this tweet right here as well, this came before this post, kind of hinting towards something that is coming up. Yeah, he basically talks about, please let me know if any employee faces firing or retaliation for speaking up about their company's participation in WordPress. We'll make sure it's a big public deal and that you get support. So yeah, he's kind of building up here, and then this post drops, and basically as soon as this post drops, the community just flips out. And yeah, after this, a lot of people who have had a bad experience with WordPress Engine kind of support him, but also there are people who were quick to point out that, very quick to point out that whatever Automatic does with WordPress.com is even worse, which we'll get into, but yeah. And yeah, right after this post, Matt has not been quiet whatsoever. He's basically reposting all these different tweets by people who are kind of supporting him and basically taking a stand against WP Engine. And then again, with this tweet, Matt kind of goes on to stir up the honey's nest by saying someone made a brilliant suggestion. Use the commercial trademark license to start a new hosting brand called WordPress Engine, match all the pricing and offerings of WPE, WordPress Engine, spend millions on marketing WordPress Engine, basically kind of shaking up the jar. And yeah, here in the replies, he does say, not going to do it, but it's a funny thought experiment, kind of calling out WP Engine. And he also says, okay, who registered WordPressEngine.com? That's the perfect domain. Yeah, basically he was going ham on WP Engine. But yeah, while all this was happening, a lot of people came in support of Matt, but also a lot of people were quick to point out the flaws in Matt's arguments that he had in this post right here. One of the very interesting tweets that I stumbled upon was this by Josh Robs. Thank you so much. I feel so much better. I brain dumped all the WordPress drama. So yeah, buckle up because this one's amazing. So yeah, he right here has this mind map that we can look into. We're just going to skip out all this different part and we're going to go straight into the drama. So basically, WordPress Engine is bad. Matt Mullenweg and WordPress Engine, this is where the drama starts. WP Engine is bad, doesn't do enough for Five for the Future, which is a way that you contribute to the WordPress core. And basically he says here, is that the only way to contribute? But yeah, basically on the other side, the argument here is that WordPress Engine does not necessarily contribute to the core, but that is not just the way to contribute. It sponsors WordCamps, it has a lot of free plugins, has supported Gutenberg and FSC, and yeah, basically that is that side of the argument, right? And yeah, if you want to read this, I'll leave all the links down below, don't even worry about it. So yeah, the next one is it disables post revisions by default. It's a managed hosting. And yeah, basically now people have started digging up WordPress.com, and it says WordPress.com charges you to be able to change the font. And also I think in WordPress.com, the first 2 premium plans, you really can't change the theme of the plugin. There's something like that. So yeah, but yeah, basically people were really quick to point out that WordPress.com does something similar. And here's another point, GoDaddy disables cron, which is worse. And if you don't know what WP cron or WordPress cron is, it's the system built into WordPress that handles the scheduling of time-based tasks. But yeah, there you go. I'm not going to get too deep into this because you're here for the drama. Why bring it up? Wasn't Matt Mullenweg an investor in WP Engine when this was going on? So yeah, now this adds a whole different layer. Turns out Matt Mullenweg was an investor in WP Engine, and I don't know when he stopped being an investor, I don't know any of that, but yeah, apparently Matt was also speaking at WP Engine's events while this was going on, and basically he says it does look accurate, but it's irrelevant shot to justify calling them out. Again, why them and only them? Because GoDaddy apparently disables cron, which is a big thing, and also WordPress.com with its own set of things that it does in their hosted WordPress. And then another claim, which is the WordPress engine is the only one that does this. But the counter argument of that is it's the part of every optimization plugin. Is that true? Twitter says it isn't. And yeah, there's another funny one that I want to get to. This is like really good. And yeah, there's another point owned by Silver Lake. Then are all Silver Lake holdings bad? What about GoDaddy? When did they stop being a parasitic company? Now, I don't know a lot about GoDaddy and Silver Lake, etc. But yeah, if you want to go down the rabbit hole, you can. The next point is really gold. WordPress Engine's branding is confusing. To his mom. Is she in the tech space? Does she know the difference between Java and JavaScript? But yeah, basically, in this post right here, Matt talks about how his mother was confused and thought WP Engine was an official thing. I mean, yeah, fair, is she in the tech space? And the next question is even more funny. Does she know the difference between Java and JavaScript? And another side of the argument is, I've never known anyone confused by this. And yeah, again, another argument is that WordPress.com and WordPress.org is actually more confusing than using WP Engine in their name. Because, a lot of different themes and plugins use WP in their name, like Test WP, Insta WP. There's like so many products out there. So yeah, I think this argument right here falls a bit short, right? But yeah, now my friends, I just told you what was happening in the community, right? How people were responding to different claims, what was happening. But yeah, the actual bombshell drops when WordPress Engine drops this tweet. These tweets, there's like 2 tweets. So the first one is, since our founding in 2010, WP Engine has been dedicated to advancing the use and adoption of WordPress through innovation, investment, and active community involvement. We're proud of our extensive contributions to the WordPress ecosystem, which has grown far beyond the core open source project. The recent attacks against us are unfair and untrue and clearly designed to harm our business. Our employees, customers, and the WordPress community deserve better. While these developments are unfortunate, they will not slow us down. We remain focused on serving our customers, supporting our team members and our agency partners, and fulfilling our mission, which puts the growth and success of the WordPress ecosystem at the heart of everything we do. And there is some pushback, there's people like Adam Prager is here. He basically says, how about just saying we should and will contribute more to core than doing it? Would it be that hard just to do that? You don't need to win every fight. There's some pushback right here, people basically asking WP Engine to contribute to core even more. And some people still don't know what this is all about. But up till this point, everything was within this digital realm, right? You know, WP Engine was having a hard time. There were a few people calling out Matt as well. And then people were asking WP Engine to contribute. Some people were saying, you know, I've had a bad experience with WP Engine, so I switched to something different. But then the next thing happened, the actual bombshell. And that is this tweet right here from WP Engine. Today, WP Engine sent what is called a cease and desist letter to Automatic, demanding that Automatic and its CEO, Matt Mullenweg, stop making and retract false, harmful, and disparaging statements against WP Engine. In response to misinformation he has disseminated about the letter, its purpose, and who it is directed at, we're making up the full letter available here. And yeah, they basically dropped the cease and desist. And my friends, now we're going to look at the cease and desist. I read the entire thing, and I'll just give you a brief summary. And this is where the game changes, because now a lot of people are against Matt for what he did. So yeah, let's get on with this cease and desist. So this right here is the cease and desist. It starts with, we are the litigation counsel for WP Engine and right to address the serious and repeated misconduct Automatic has directed towards WP Engine over the past several days. Stunningly, Automatic's CEO Matthew Mullenweg, I didn't even know his actual name was Matthew. Okay. Matthew Mullenweg threatened that if WP Engine did not agree to pay Automatic for his profit entity a very large sum of money before his September 20th keynote address at the WordCamp EU convention, he was going to embark on a self-described scorched earth nuclear approach towards WP Engine within the WordPress community and beyond. So basically, Matt was trying to strike a deal with WP Engine, but he basically said, I'm going to speak against WP Engine in WordCamp US unless you pay Automatic this sum of money. And apparently it says Mr. Mullenweg's covert demanded that WP Engine hand over tens of millions to his for-profit company Automatic, while publicly masquerading as an altruistic protector of the WordPress community. Is disgraceful. So the first point right here, Automatic makes coercive threats demanding monetary payment in exchange for Mr. Mullenweg's silence. In the days leading up to Mr. Mullenweg's September 20th keynote address at the WordCamp US convention, Automatic suddenly began demanding that WP Engine pay Automatic large sums of money, and if they didn't, Automatic would wage a war against WP Engine. This demand was accompanied by allegations about WP Engine's business that were not only baseless but also bore no rational relation to the payment demand. Okay, so yeah, I think we're gonna skip all this and we're gonna go straight into text messages. So yeah, these right here are the series of texts sent by Matt. If I'm going to make the case to the WP community about why we're banning WP Engine, I need to do it in my talk tomorrow. You're delaying it, just trying to remove that. I have 14 slides so far. Working title of the talk: How Private Equity Can Hollow Out and Destroy Open Source Communities. A story in 4 parts. I've got quotes from current and former employees. Some may even stand up and speak as well. I'm guessing he's talking about WP Engine's current and former employees. And yeah, there is another text just called, should I run these slides or not? Is next week a negotiation on the percentage, or is it happening at all? I'm not going to be able to walk it back. I know that this is the nuclear option. It sets us down a specific path. So basically, after this barrage of texts from Matt, WP Engine CEO and board members offered to speak with Matt the following week to have a business discussion. Matt basically refused it because the same week he had this speech. And yeah, basically he says, if you're saying next week, that's saying no. So I'll proceed with the scorched earth nuclear approach to WP Engine. And yeah, those are quite some words. A scorched earth nuclear approach to WP Engine. Thank you for the clarity. It gives me time to work on things and hone my message. But this happens on September 20th. We're in WordCamp US. But yeah, basically in this presentation right here, Matt calls out WP Engine. I guess he's the founder. I'm not quite sure. Basically he talks about WP Engine, Silver Lake, and whoever this guy is. I think he is the CEO of WP Engine. Let me look up. But basically, Lee Whitlinger is the managing director of Silver Lake right here. If you want to watch the entire presentation right here, it is unlisted. But yeah, you can find this video in Matt's tweet right here. But yeah, basically in this tweet he also says, just wanted to do a community vibes check. If you saw my WordCamp US presentation and assuming they don't change, should we allow WP Engine to have a booth at the next WordCamp? But now he's basically trying to cancel WP Engine's booth in WordCamps. And also says here that in the final minutes leading up to his keynote address, Mr. Mullenweg sent one last missive. A photo of the WordCamp audience waiting to hear his speech with the message that he could shift gears and turn his talk into just a Q&A if WP Engine agreed to pay up. Basically, this was supposed to be like a Q&A session, but Matt went ahead full on ballistic, and yeah, he talked about WP Engine instead. It's this right here is the photo of the WordCamp attendees, and I'm literally waiting for them to finish the raffle so my talk can start. I can make it just a Q&A about WP very easily. And yeah, upon not getting any response from the CEO of WP Engine, and yeah, these messages were sent to the CEO of WP Engine, he went ahead with his presentation. And now we got the second point. Mr. Mullenweg carries out his threats during his WordCamp keynote and thereafter, which we saw. So I don't think I really need to go in detail about these, claiming that WP Engine is a company that just wants to feed off the WordPress ecosystem, suggesting that WP Engine employees may be fired for speaking up, supporting Mr. Mullenweg, or supporting WordPress and offering to provide support in finding them jobs if that were to occur, stating that every WordPress Engine customer should watch his speech and not renew their subscriptions, basically, claiming that if the current WP Engine customers switch to different hosts, they might get faster performance, alleging that WP Engine is misusing the trademark, including by using WP in its name, claiming that WP Engine's investor doesn't give a dang about open source ideals. So yeah, these right here are all the claims, and there's also some defending points here. So yeah, basically they kind of defend this point where Matt talks about how WP Engine does not contribute to WordPress. They talked about how they contributed tens of millions of dollars in ongoing support for the broader community through events, sponsorships, and the development of educational resources, including sponsorship of WordCamps worldwide, and producing Decode, educating and empowering the WordPress community through content like WordPress Roundup and the Building WordPress series, and their open source plugins like ACF and WP GraphQL, Fost, JAS within the ecosystem, used by millions of websites around the world. Even considering Mr. Mullenweg's incorrect statement that contribution is only based on hours worked and contributors to 5 for the future, Mr. Mullenweg falsely stated that WP Engine is failing on this metric. And then there's this stat right here. WP Engine is ranked 30 out of 189 in hours contributed and 16 out of 189 in contributors. So there's that. They defended that point. As for Mr. Mullenweg's claim that WP Engine is misusing the WordPress trademark, where he says, even his mother was confused at that point, that too is false and reflects a profound misunderstanding of both trademark law and WordPress Foundation's trademark policy. First, WP Engine's use of WP is explicitly permitted by WordPress Foundation's trademark policy, and yeah, in quotes, the abbreviation WP is not covered by the WordPress trademarks, and you are free to use it in any way you see fit. This is from the WordPress Foundation's trademark policy, and moreover, WP Engine's use of the WordPress mark is entirely compliant with governing trademark law. For more than a decade, WP Engine has fairly used that term and a lot of other plugins in this WordPress ecosystem as well. And yeah, the other point where Matt says WP Engine might retaliate against employees for supporting the WordPress ecosystem is not just false and wholly unsubstantiated, and it is absurd. Not satisfied with the harm he inflicted at WordCamp, Mr. Mullenweg continues to smear campaign since then. For example, he authored a post on WordPress.org. The WordPress.org post was after his speech, which I kind of wanted to save for the last because, there was this hidden deal that Matt was trying to carry out with WP Engine. So this was before the post, and then the post came, and then the tweets came, and then this cease and desist came. And yeah, here this cease and desist talks about how disabling revisions is a built-in feature of WordPress and has been since before WP Engine was founded. A quick Google search returns about 140,000 articles discussing this practice. And this cease and desist also talks about how Automatic's own product Jetpack does the same thing. And how within WordPress dashboard, in the admin dashboard, there's this WordPress news section where all the recent WordPress news are shown. And yeah, they basically go on to talk about that as well, how it is disparaging and how these false and disparaging statements are placed onto the WordPress admin dashboard, which is provided to every WordPress hosting provider, including WP Engine, and seen by those providers' customers. And yeah, they basically go on to say that Mr. Mullenweg's false, misleading, and disparaging statements are legally actionable because of some tweets that they show right here from a user of WP Engine. I'm a current customer, but I will not be renewing my account with them next month based on these actions to the WP community, under a tweet by Matt after he did his speech or his presentation. Some WP Engine customers and community members have already expressed an intention to stop doing business with WP Engine, and I don't know which company this is or who this is, but yeah. But this is someone else basically cutting their ties with WP Engine. Following the blog by Photomat, we've decided to remove WP Engine from our hosting lists on unselect WP for now, and we'll add it again after a thorough check. We'll also check if any other hosting is also doing the same. And yeah, this right here is the list of ceases, like, cease making false factual statements regarding WP Engine. I don't know what false factual statements mean. I think it's just false statements. Am I wrong? Anywho, that, and cease interfering with WP Engine's contractual relationships with its employees, cease interfering with WP Engine's contractual relationship with its customers, and preserve all potentially relevant document and data. Basically urging Matt, his team, Automatic, and all the people involved to not delete their messages, which I don't know why you would want to do, because they're definitely going to do that. But yeah, that right there is the gist of this cease and desist. And yeah, this cease and desist was released like 12 hours ago, and yeah, the drama is still on. The drama is like really heating up because people are starting to catch up what Matt was doing and the entire thing with WordPress engine. But yeah, basically both parties are getting a lot of heat. And yeah, this right here, 2 hours ago, Matt's still tweeting about WP Engine, some important context for everyone to understand about my visit to the WP Engine booth on Tuesday. Oh my god, this is on Reddit. Okay, Matt Mullenweg needs to step down from the WordPress.org leadership ASAP. Oh my god. Yo, things are getting real spicy. Okay, Matt Mullenweg, co-founder of WordPress. Okay, I'm gonna read this and I'll give you a brief summary. Okay, so this right here, this notes is by Rodrigo Guedin. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But yeah, he has got like many different docs here, a collaborative doc with lots of reasons that justify asking Matt to step down. And there's this Google Doc, I guess. This document serves as a reference point for members of the media and those unfamiliar with Matt Mullenweg's career, offering a detailed account of controversies surrounding his leadership. Yeah, okay, so everything from founding of WordPress to inviting a venture capitalist to give a keynote speaker at WordCamp, Tumblr doxing and anti-trans controversy, Jetpack data and AI training controversy. Hello again, Dolly. Hello Dolly is like one of my favorite plugins. It's one of my favorite songs as well, come on. And yeah, it also says right here, Matt himself confirmed he asked for 8% of WordPress Engine's revenue or else. I'm guessing this is WP Engine and not WP. And WordPress Engine is suing Matt, WordPress and Automatic per Matt himself. And yeah, a lot of updates, and yeah, he basically goes on to talk about what Matt did. And this right here, all these things I think we covered, and the drama is still going on. Now this is a completely different thing. To be very clear, I was 100% cordial and polite to everyone at the booth. My message was, I know this isn't about them. It's happening several levels above. It's even above their CEO. It's coming from their own Silver Lake, and particularly their board members, Lee Whittlinger. Okay, several people inside WP Engine have been anonymously leaking information to me about their bad behavior, and I wanted to let them know if they were caught or faced retaliation that I would support them in every way possible, including covering their salaries until they found a new job. That if we had to... Okay, so apparently it seems Matt visited WP Engine's booth in WordCamp US, so that's that. And yeah, a lot of people on Reddit as well still not happy with Matt's conduct. But I mean, I guess I get them too. Like, if you're really trying to do better for the community, why take money and shut up and not just say it how it is, right? Yeah, I get them too. And yeah, holy, heard a rumor WP Engine is trying to remove the newsfeed from WP admin dashboard so people don't see my post about them. Can anyone confirm or deny? And yeah, I think this is someone from the WP Engine team, or basically someone who knows about this happening. I guess that's that. And yeah, people are basically comparing contributions of Automatic to contribution of WP Engine, and a lot of people are supporting WP Engine, and a lot of people are supporting Matt, and a lot of people are against Matt, and a lot of people are against Matt and are also against WP Engine. So yeah, and yeah, this right here is not the WordPress community I signed up for, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, it's happening, and yeah, I guess it is what it is. Oh, and it looks like he did a Twitter space as well, WP Engine and WordPress. Let's discuss the drama, the issues. Just go watch it if you're interested. And if you're not interested, you can always watch the Tech Grill WordPress tutorials that I have on this channel. Yeah, I don't generally do dramas, believe it or not. I do tutorials for WordPress. Go watch it. Take care. Anywho, I hope you found this video entertaining. If you haven't already, please subscribe to Tech Grill. I assure you, Tech Grill is not a drama channel. I strictly only make WordPress tutorials, but this is one of those one-off moments where I covered some drama. Anywho, Tech Grill is really close to 100 subs, so I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe. And yeah, I'm having a really hard time with dust allergy, so yeah, I'll see you around. Take care.